Welcome to Debutante Renegade. On today's show, I'm talking about shopping addiction. Those of us who fall into the category of online shopaholics. But first, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell next to it, and give me a thumbs up. So, I know for myself that I have struggled with shopping addiction my entire life, pretty much. I don't know if anyone else can relate to that out there. I imagine you can. But for me, I will say that during the pandemic, when things were locked down, it got a lot worse. I think because I was spending more time on my phone, more time online, and the algorithms in social media, etc., start to pick up on what you're doing, what you're buying, what you're looking at, what groups you're in, and they start putting things in front of you that you know you're going to like, and it just sends you down a whole rabbit hole of buying something that you didn't even know you needed and feeling like you have to have it. So for anyone out there who relates to that, that's what I'm going to be talking about today. And I have some tips for overcoming it because I have recently overcome my shopping addiction. And so I have a few tips. So just a little background on my personal journey with shopping addiction. I've always been into cosmetics and perfume, makeup, perfume, beauty stuff, any hair stuff, anything like that. I've always been really into that, and I've always been really into clothes. So that's always been a couple areas. I mean, those are really the two areas that my addiction is in. It's not in, I'm not buying electronics. I'm buying makeup and cosmetics, beauty stuff, clothes, shoes, etc. I'm not terrible about buying purses or anything like that. Like occasionally I'll buy a new purse, but occasionally I'll buy a new hat. Like accessories, I'm not that bad about. But when it comes to clothes and cosmetics, I've been pretty bad. When I was a teenager, I had to work to buy my own stuff, and I would buy whatever I could, which probably looked like a really modest amount. And even in my 20s, I didn't have a ton of extra money for buying things. Although I did have a really good waitressing job at one point where I did have some extra money, and I would go to Urban Outfitters and just get a bunch of clothes I didn't need, or even, Forever 21, and just get a bunch of crap that I didn't need. So I would say that it was always there. And then in my mid 30s, I discovered a couple of clothing brands that I really fell in love with that kind of had the types of clothes that I've always wanted. And so I definitely procured a number of pieces of these clothes, which became its own sort of addiction. The only plus side to that addiction is that the clothes have a pretty decent resale value. So I could wear something for a couple years and then sell it for practically what I paid for it. So I almost justified this addiction as an investment, if you will. For me, during the pandemic, spending a lot more time on my phone, a lot more time on my computer, a lot more time on social media, in Instagram and Facebook, I found that I was buying stuff like sweatsuits and sneakers and underwear that I didn't really need. And I figured out that these logarithms were picking up on my behaviors and showing me stuff that I would like and that I would want to buy and I would feel the need to have. This got to a point where I really was spending more than I should on stuff that I didn't need. As of recently in my life, I've had to go on a no buy. So my end to my shopping addiction didn't happen so much just because I was I have been wanting to be more disciplined, and that has been a goal of mine, but I had to stop. There's other things in my life that are taking spending priority at the moment. Someday I'll talk about that. But I've had to completely go cold turkey. And I've been cold turkey for, I want to say like 2.5 months now. No, haven't got any new stuff. And I feel like in this day and age, that's kind of hard. I mean, even if I, buy a $7 lipstick or something from ColourPop, like, it's nice to have something new, whatever, but I'm just on a no new things. Like if I run out of my mascara or my hair product or something like that, I can replace it. Like that's okay. But I'm not buying any new clothes. And I'm not buying any new eyeshadow palettes or makeup or anything like that. Again, if like my foundation runs out or my concealer, I can buy another bottle of that, another tube of that. But I'm not buying, again, cheek palettes and eyeshadow palettes and, new lipstick colors, anything like that. Because I have enough. I don't need any more. So I'm on a no buy. I'm only allowed to purchase things that I need, like simply if I run out of something. And even with like body creams and stuff like that, like I have enough. I don't need to buy any more. I can use up what I have. If I totally run out of what I have, then I can buy like one new body cream. So that's how my no buy is working. But part of what I've had to do to get to this place, so for any of you out there who really struggle with this and who see stuff and feel like you need it or, are looking for a way to buy less, especially look, like we're headed into a recession. We all need to tighten our purse strings a little bit. Here are some tips that I've learned through helping me get to a place where I've stopped buying. One, limit your time on social media. Instagram, Facebook, those logarithms are designed to make you want to buy stuff. They are designed. So be careful. Also, I don't know about you, but I've frequently been in groups for things that I like. Like if there's a body care line that I like an indie body care, or a clothing brand that I like, I am in several of these groups, and I've either just stopped participating in them or I've opted out of them entirely. So, if you're not able to stop yourself just on your own, then get out of these groups. Delete yourself from these groups. Get out of them, because they're only going to tempt you. When they have new product launches, whatever, you're just going to want to buy whatever they have. Now, for me, I think I'm a glutton for a punishment. I've stayed in a lot of my groups, so I see, my favorite clothing brand has a drop happening this next week, and I'm dying over the pieces. They're such good pieces, but I'm on a no buy. I cannot have them. I can't. And what I'm telling myself is, I'm like, you know what, in 6 months, in a year from now, if I still really want one of those pieces and, I don't have any outstanding debts or payments that I have to make, then I can treat myself to one. If my income's good, then I can treat myself to one. But otherwise, I can't. I just can't have it. I just have to say no. So it's tough. It's tough to say no, but I'm trying to appreciate all the things that I have, because I have a lot of really wonderful, beautiful stuff. So I'm really having gratitude for the pieces that I have, and I'm enjoying all the things that I have. I have all the good makeup, all the good clothes, everything that I have. I'm just really enjoying it and savoring it as much as I possibly can. And for me, I'm limiting my time on those groups. I'm still punishing myself by being in them. But if you cannot stop yourself, then I would get out of those groups. Get out of the clothing groups that you're in. Get out of the cosmetic groups or whatever it is, purses, shoes, accessory, whatever groups that you're in that, kind of share that addiction. And let's be honest, these groups enable you. If you ask the group, should I keep it? How does it look? Everyone's like, oh, it's gorgeous. I love it. Keep it. Or, which one should I keep? This one or that one? Keep both. How often do you hear this type of thing in these groups? They really enable the addiction and they make you feel okay about it. They help you justify it because everyone else in there shares the same addiction, right? So you're all kind of in it together and it makes it feel okay. But, if it's not okay for you, then it's not, and get out. Just get out of the group. You can always rejoin it again at a later time or, hide notifications from that group. Turn off your notifications for that group so that you're not going to see. The same goes for influencers that you follow that are going to, showcase things that you want. If you follow somebody who's always, for instance, I follow this cosmetic person, Trend Mood, who always, what they do on Instagram is they feature new cosmetic collections. So if you don't want to see the latest thing that's coming out because you're not going to buy it, then unfollow that person or turn off. You don't have to unfollow them, but you could turn off the notification so you don't receive notifications of their posts anymore. So their posts don't come up in your feed so that you can stop seeing what's coming out and, stay off of the sites. If you have a makeup addiction or something, don't go on Sephora and look at what's coming out. Don't torture yourself with that. If you subscribe to different people on YouTube who do unboxings or reviews on certain products, then, maybe turn off the notifications on that or unfollow them. I hate, as somebody who has my own YouTube channel, I hate to tell anybody to unfollow, but if you have to fix your life and your spending, then there's certain things you have to do. And I really do think getting out of groups, unfollowing, turning off notifications for these types of things that are going to, enable those bad spending behaviors or enable your addiction for purchasing these things. And I say turn all of it off. And that's, for me, I've really limited my consumption of that type of content. And then I'm also just being really disciplined. If I do see stuff, it actually just hurts though. Like in some ways I would just be better not having any exposure at all. But like I said, I think I'm a little bit of a glutton for punishment. I still like to see what's coming out. Even though I'm being really strict. But I am being really strict and I'm being really good. And it actually feels good, because I feel like when I would purchase things I didn't need, even if I hadn't purchased anything for a couple months or whatever, I still kind of felt a little bit of, I still would feel some guilt and some shame at getting something that I know I didn't need. Like if you have 20 good dresses, do you need another one? No, you don't need it. You like it. And I think that there is something to treating yourself to something you like every once in a while. People should have new things. But I think it just really depends. For me, I would say that during the pandemic, I think I got more than enough stuff. I bought extra things that I didn't need because I got kind of hooked in, bored at home, whatever it was. I would say I definitely did a little bit of damage where I shouldn't have. I didn't put myself in debt or anything like that for it, but I would have been better off saving that money, for something else than spending it. And even though I can kind of make most of that money back by selling stuff, which now I'm in a position where I'm selling a lot of the things that I bought that I didn't need because I don't need them. So now I'm selling a lot of them. And it ends up just being a big time thing. You get this extra stuff and you don't actually need it. So you sell it, right? And then you end up with things in your closet that still have the tags on that you never even used that you thought you needed. So this is that kind of wasteful spending addiction I'm talking about, where you think you need it, but you really don't. So, spend a little less time on Instagram and Facebook. If you're, I think I even deleted the apps for the first few weeks of Instagram and Facebook from my phone. So I would go on them less. But of course, look, we all have a lot of reasons why we want to go on those platforms on a daily basis. But I just think limiting the time, being aware that the ads are there to entice you and not letting them work their magic on you, which is really hard. Turn off notifications or unfollow people that are going to tempt you. You know who makes you want to buy stuff, and you know what brands you follow that you're going to want to purchase things from when they have new collection launches, drops, etc. So get away from all of that. Space yourself from it. It's like breaking up with somebody that you have a toxic relationship with. You're not going to keep talking to that person every day, right? So, if this has kind of a toxic presence in your life, then don't come face to face with it every day. Give yourself space, give yourself time to kind of get over it. And then once you have some space, it gets easier. I will say for me, now that I'm 2.5 months in, I would say it's gotten easier for me. Still hard, especially this week is hard for me because there's some stuff coming out that I really want, but I can't have it. So c'est la vie, life goes on. Anyway, for those of you out there that share this addiction, I think a lot of us do. Especially in the kind of digital age that we're in. I think that, I think they've really figured out how to empty our wallets, if you know what I mean. I think they have. So don't let them. Don't give them that power. Hang on to your wallet, especially, our economy, at least here in the US, but I think the same goes for worldwide. I think that we're all, post-pandemic headed into a rough economy. So I think we all need to save our pennies and watch our debts, and we all need to get a hold of our spending a little bit better, be a little bit more responsible, make better choices. So here's me taking responsibility for my own bad habits and saying that I've been good. And if you want to be good too, these are some things that work for me. And I hope that helps. Oh, I wish you the best of luck. It's really hard. If you mess up, forgive yourself, but do better and do more of the things that I suggested. And hey, if you have any suggestions of your own, please put them in the comments for me. I could definitely use all the help I can get. So if you have any suggestions of how you've stopped spending and buying crap online that you don't really need, but you feel like you do, and you figured out some ways around that, let me know. I'm all ears. I hope this helps. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Have a beautiful rest of your day.